Buenos días, clase de Español 2 en línea, online Spanish 2. This is Señor Irvin, and welcome to class here. And what I'm going to do is quickly go through, as you see this first folder that you just clicked in, called Recursos, or the Resources, Syllabus, and Course Outline. So you have a good idea about how do you get started as far as the class goes, and where you can go back to if you need to go find a resource, okay? So my video should be embedded right here somewhere, and it says Bienvenidos a Español 2, and we have some important things linked here for you. The first thing is the WK online contract. Anytime you take an online class at WK, you need to yourself sign this contract, and we're going to just click it. It's going to tell me, do you want to make a copy of it? I'm going to say yes. Go ahead and make me a copy. Make sure, this is just a really good practice for you to go ahead and do this. Always be in Google Chrome and always be logged in under your wkfalcons.org account so that when you make copies, for example, of this online contract, it automatically is going to save it to your Google Drive. Anyway, make sure you read this and read the expectations. I've also embedded the guidelines here inside of my syllabus. And then at the end, make sure that you sign it. You put your name, signature, your parents' name, and they sign it. And then I will sign it at the end and then turn it into the office. And this will keep us all accountable as far as online learning is concerned. And I have several things about that inside of the description of the syllabus. The next thing here is something called Flipgrid. You're going to be very familiar with Flipgrid. Every single day, I would say every single day of Español 2, you will be doing activities inside of Flipgrid. It is a way for us to be able to basically simulate what happens in a classroom as far as dialogue and listening and being able to communicate with each other all in Español. We can do it all within Flipgrid. And that's one of the reasons why you need to make sure that you have a camera like the camera that I have here on your device, and that you have some sort of ability to be able to record your voice also también. So if you don't have those things, I have it in my syllabus that you do need to get that. All you do with this, by the way, is you click it. It's already hyperlinked, and it'll take you to Online Spanish 2. Right now there's just one thing here, but there will be multiple things that you need to go ahead and click on, read the directions, and then respond in Español. Okay? That's basically kind of what we're doing here. We're speaking Español, getting some good practice, and then responding to each other. So you will also be doing that when you be listening to your classmates also speak and then being able to respond to them in the Spanish language. The next part here is Quizlet. We know Quizlet very well. This will let you join this year's Online Spanish 2 Quizlet course, okay? And it says Español 2 en línea. You'll know you're in the right place. Once you click that, I think it does it automatically like a class join link. You make sure you just sign up with whatever it is your username and password is. If you need to make a new one up, it's totally fine. And the main thing about Quizlet is that you're going to be practicing words in there. You can do it as often or as little as you want, just so you know you have a resource here to be able to go ahead and go back to if you need to get some review. For example, I already embedded the review from Español 1, all of the vocab there that we did towards the end of last year on our final exam. That's the first thing that I put on there. And then I also put Casi se muere capítulo 1, which is the novel that you are going to be reading in Español. Talking about that, that's our next thing on the item here. We have Casi se muere, and there's a PDF there. So I'm going to go ahead and click it just to show you what's up here. And it takes you to a PDF of Casi se muere. You can download it, so you have it inside of your computer, and you have it there. And you can go ahead and use this digital copy of Casi se muere, or you can come to my classroom, and it looks like this, Casi se muere, and you can check one of these out. The issue with checking these out, okay, is that I have 20 copies and there's 26 of you in class. So if you want an actual physical copy, come and get it. Not a problem. The physical copy also includes at the end a glossary of terms. There's no reason to go ahead and go out to, for example, Google Translate or something else like that to be able to find a specific word. You forget the word, for example, 16, and it means 16, and you're like, oh yeah, it means 16. You can look it up in the glossary, and most of the key words are there. Now, the thing that we do with Casi se muere, in order to hold you accountable with it, is we use Flipgrid to ask you questions about it. And you will be able to listen to some questions in Español and then respond in complete sentences in Spanish too to what you finished reading as far as inside the book. So there'll be a set of questions that'll be I will say them and you'll respond to them. And everybody will do this and post their things. And you're more than welcome to go and listen to other people respond. And in the end, towards the end of the week, Senor Irvin will give all of the correct responses of how to respond correctly to these things, because it's not about tricking you. It's about learning basically how to respond to questions, read and comprehend in Español, and then being able to be successful on the quizzes and the tests. Another thing that I've put on here is basically the syllabus. You don't have to click on anything, and you can just scroll down and take a look at the syllabus. Make sure that you read it carefully, that you understand what's happening here. Share this with your parents. I want them to make sure that they understand. And actually, I'm going to be sending this as an email also. I'm going to include my syllabus and course outline so that parents are aware of what the expectations are as far as for class. So here's the materials in Español 2. I provide all of the materials. Like I said, I just provided a digital copy of this book, but if you want the physical copy, you can check it out from my room. There is a technology requirement. Of course, this is online Spanish. From day one, you need to have an active device, a device that you can go ahead and participate for class. So you need to bring your device. It needs to be charged, and then you need to work on it. If you don't have a device from day one, I highly recommend getting onto a computer there at the school in the IMC and working on one of those. But if you do have a device, you should be working on that device, and obviously not on the computers there in the computer lab. If you don't have a webcam or a mic embedded inside of your device, inside of your laptop, then you need to purchase one. I included a link to a $20 one. That is the one that I'm using here. It's fantastic. It works perfect. Expectations here. Since you're enrolling in an online class, it's expected, as in the online contract states, that you're going to have a level of maturity. I think it actually states these exact same words. You're expected to work during the 50 minutes of the assigned period. You're going to have a lot of stuff to do. You can do the 50 minutes and still have to do some stuff outside of class in order to be prepared to be able to take the quizzes and eventually the exams. All of these things are set up ahead of time. You will know exactly what's going to be on the quiz or the exam so that you're not studying something that is irrelevant, for example. Check-in behavior in the IMC, you should know this already, but maybe you don't, okay, because you're online Spanish 2 students. You need to go in and check in with Barb in the IMC. 7th hour, I will actually also be in the IMC. I'm going to make a little post there. I'm going to sit at one of the tables, and that is to be able to help anybody that's 7th hour. Maybe they have a study hall, or they maybe have online Spanish during that hour. I'm there to help you to clear up any instructions. I'm also available during the morning hours of the day, as long as you let me know you're coming. I'm going to be in my room, usually, unless I'm helping teachers, but I will be basically 1st through 4th hour. I should have some available time to be able to help you out. But 7th hour for sure, I will be posted out there in the high school IMC. Right here it says that Barb is in charge. Okay, so you need to ask her to be able to use the restroom or to be able to get water. You need to make sure that you're in your seat and you're working quietly. All of the different types of things that you understand are part of being a good student. If you are violating these things, Barb is encouraged to write referrals, and then eventually, if you can't handle being in an online course, you will be removed from the online Spanish class. Face-to-face exams. One of the things that, in order to keep the integrity of Español, is you actually need to prove to Senor Irvin that you're getting the outcomes that you need to be able to get at the end. You need to understand this stuff. So there is face-to-face exams. All formative, which are quizzes, and summative assessments, which are the exams, are taken in person with Senor Irvin. And I put here that you can meet with me on quiz day. I will be available 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th hours. I teach Spanish 1 5th and 6th hours now. And then study hall, I just told you about 7th hour, I will be out there. If you can't work those times out, then you need to arrange to take the test before or after school on the day of the quiz or the test, or during lunch. You can bring your lunch with you, take the exam or test then, okay? And then just make sure that if you're not there, okay, if let's say you're absent, that you message me and let me know, hey, I'm absent, I'm not going to be able to take, I'm not taking the test today, I'll be there tomorrow to be able to take the test. The face-to-face exams are there to be able to, you can prove that yes, you are understanding, and if you're not understanding, then we can go ahead and do something about that. Absences, you're responsible for completing all daily work by the deadline. So if you're ill, you're unable to complete your assignments, just send me a message and say, hey, I've missed a couple of days. Is it okay if I turn in my assignments, whatever the day might be, and then I will make that determination then. If you missed the quiz or exam because you're sick, that's one thing, okay? Then just send me a message, I'm sick, and then when you're back at school, you need to come take the exam. Not a few days from then, you need to take the exam when you get back. Late assignments receive 50% reduction in points. Just so you understand, and I'll explain this in just a little bit, there are a set of weekly assignments. For the most part, all of those are graded just for completion, just doing them. The one thing that's important is active participation inside of Flipgrid. Like I said, that's our main hub. We're making sure that we have an active class, that you guys are actively speaking Español every single day and listening to Español every single day also. So if you turn in assignments late, then it's not really going to help you for the example, for the quiz or for the exam. You will receive 50% reduction in points. So, and I only accept them, it says here, for 1 week. I will close the assignments, and you will not be able to submit anything after 1 week. Make sure you understand that. Missed quiz or exam, if you just don't show up for a quiz, you were there at school but you just decided not to come in, you receive a 25% reduction for each day past the due date. So don't do that. Come in and take the exam or the quiz on the days that they are scheduled. Just so you can plan ahead, I have an actual schedule of all the quizzes and tests for this semester. And then next semester, I'll post that again. We have our Spanish class grading scale. It looks a little bit jumbled here, but it's basically the exact same scale that everybody else is using at the school. It's from our our student handbook. So below 60% is an F, but you have all the different other measurements there. If you're wondering what kinds of assignments there are, this is super important here. We have weekly assignments. They're called tareas, the homework assignments basically, and I grade them again. If it's something that you're just completing, you're writing up, it's graded for completion. I give you feedback so that you can learn from it, okay? I'm not going to take away points. But if you're not participating in Flipgrid, then you will not receive the 100 points there. You will receive a reduction in points there, because this is how you're really going to be able to get the practice to be able to be successful on these two things. Each week you have either a quiz or an exam. Every few weeks you'll have a project also. To begin the year, I have some things right here. So online contract guidelines, you can read those yourself. But to begin the year, I have 3 weeks here, the first 3 weeks of school. We have repaso or review. So the first week is all about you. So talking about you, your family, your likes, your dislikes, those kinds of things. The next week or the second week of school is a repaso, and it has to do with comida, with food. So things you might be familiar with, kind of doing baby steps to be able to lead you into class. And then finally a repaso, a 4-day little repaso about la casa, things inside your home and those kinds of things. And then we finally, the 4th week of school, we get into some new topics, los quehaceres. And you can see basically here, it even tells you what dates the quizzes are. So we're going to stick to this course calendar. Those will be the quiz dates. You can see there's 4 quizzes in a row because we have 3 days or 3 weeks of review. No exam there. And then we have another quiz here in the 4th week, and then we finally have an exam about los quehaceres right before parent-teacher conferences. Then we have a quiz, and then another exam, and then we have our midterm here, and we're going to be working on our project, as it says right here. We have a project, we have a midterm exam there in October 18th or 17th, 18th. Quarter 2, it shows you exactly what's happening in quarter 2, so you can plan all of these quiz dates. I would, if I were you, plug them into your calendars, whatever those may be, whether they're physical calendars or inside of Schoology or those kinds of things. I will actually put all of those things on the calendar, which just reminds me, I'm going to put them on there, all the quiz dates and the exam dates, so that you can plan ahead and be like, okay, those are important things, or maybe you know you're going to miss a certain day, you can let me know about those things. Cool. This is a way longer video than I expected. Okay. I hope you watched it all. If you have any questions, please send me a message here in Schoology. Adiós, hasta la vista.